Last week, Microsoft held their annual Ignite event, where they announced a ton of new features for Power BI and the rest of Power Platforms. In this video, I'm going to be covering some of the features that I'm really excited to try out from these announcements. I'll also cover some of the highlights from the September update, which was released this month. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fernan and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel, where I focus on teaching beginners the wonderful world that is Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. Let's start with the new Smart Narrative visual, which is essentially a way to add a text summary to explain your visuals. Gone are the days when your users copy and paste your visuals and paste it into PowerPoint just so they can add their own narrative in it. With Smart Narratives, you're able to leverage the power of AI to highlight key takeaways and data-driven analytics straight into your Power BI report. Oh, and by the way, this feature is available as part of the September 2020 update. So download the latest version of the Power BI desktop if you want to play around with it. Just make sure you enable this from the preview settings, as it is a preview feature. The second feature that I wanted to talk about is the Lineage View for the Power BI service. This is the Power BI version that you access through your browser. Microsoft actually released this feature as part of the October update last month, but it totally flew under my radar. And I'm talking about the ability to see a diagram view of how your Power BI components are connected. With this view, it lets you see how your projects connect with each other, which is a handy diagram to have, especially if you have to explain complex data structures. Well, this month this feature is out of preview. They released a new functionality with it called the Data Source Impact Analysis. Basically, it lets you see which reports and dashboards are affected when you make changes to your data sources. It can even help in notifying these dataset owners when you plan to make a change in your data source. And having this view helps massively, especially if you're working with a large group of people or reports. For me, it doesn't really help that much because I don't have a large team to work with. But it's good to keep in mind in the future when I'm involved in large teams in enterprise deployment. The next feature that I want to highlight is the deployment pipelines for Power BI, which is a premium feature, so that might make you turn away and skip to the next one. Well, hold your horses, because that might not be the case by the time you finish this video. So stick with me as I explain this one, and I'll tell you why on the next feature. If you're familiar with the traditional development lifecycle, it's essentially a way for content creators and developers to control how the product moves from creation into production. These pipelines make sure that the product is tested and that it works well before it gets deployed into production, where your end users will start using it. The pipelines have 3 stages, and each stage is a workspace backed by Power BI Premium. The first stage, development, is where your content creators and developers create reports and dashboards. Once you're happy with the reports on your development stage, you can deploy them into the second stage, tests. As the name suggests, this is where you will test the reports in terms of performance and usage. You can also share this to your testing group to make sure that it works for its purposes. Once the reports are approved and signed off in the testing stage, you can move them to the third and final stage, production. This is where your end users will be able to access the final version of your reports. This concept of dev, test, and production is something that's been used for a very long time, and I'm surprised that it doesn't come out of the box with Power BI. But it's really great that they've added this feature now, even though it's behind a Power BI premium license. And speaking of premium licenses, Microsoft announced the option to get Power BI premium license per user, as opposed to a blanket premium license for your entire organization. And this announcement is really huge, especially for those that are looking to take advantage of these Power BI premium capabilities. And the $5,000 monthly subscription for a premium license is such a huge barrier of entry, especially for those organizations that just don't have enough users to justify for that cost. With this lower barrier of entry, I can definitely see more organizations adopting premium capabilities using Power BI. The Power BI Premium per user will be in public preview from early November, completely free. So if you wanted to try it out and see what its limitations are, this would be the perfect chance to do so. The official pricing for this is not out yet, but if you're looking for more information about the licensing options and what's available in it, Christopher Finland from Microsoft released a blog which answers some of the most frequently asked questions in this topic, so go check that out if you want to know more. Another interesting announcement that I'm really excited to try out is the new diagram view for the Power Query editor. The view almost works exactly like the Lineage View, except it gives you a diagram view of the transformation steps that you took on your data preparation step. It looks like this view will eventually replace the applied steps window, which in theory works, but I can see new developers, having a difficult time to visualize their transformations. I think this is a great step towards lowering that barrier of entry, especially for those analysts who are just getting started with their data preparation tasks. The view lets them see the overall picture quite easily with these diagrams. If you also have any experience working with SSIS packages with SQL Server, these views and diagrams will look very familiar to you. This feature is currently available only for Power Query Online with Dataflows, and it's expected to come to Power BI Desktop sometime next year. And last but not the least, there was an announcement of Power BI experiences integrated directly into Microsoft Teams. This means that end users can access their Power BI reports and dashboards directly within Microsoft Teams, providing seamless collaboration within your organization. Having your reports accessible directly from Microsoft Teams is such a welcome addition, especially if you're looking to foster a data-driven culture within your organization. A change in culture can be extremely challenging, especially if you're working with large organizations or people that are used to their old ways of working. But if your users are already using Teams for communication, having these Power BI reports integrated into Teams, it means that there's really no excuse in not using data and reports when you're in conversations or meetings. Details on how to use Power BI in Teams, such as sharing reports in conversations or showing reports in meetings, can be found in the Microsoft blog. I will share that in the description box below. And those were some of the exciting features that I got from the Microsoft Ignite event. So what did you think? Any new features you're excited about? Leave it in the comment section below. I didn't cover everything that was announced this month, so if you're looking for that full list of features, I'll link all of them in the description box below. Give this video a like if it helped you. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Get in touch using these social media links that I included in the description box below. And thank you so much again for watching this video, guys. See you again on the next one.